have such sights to show you.
You are all going to die tonight.
Good evening, my sweet tortured souls, and welcome back to Miss Violet's Underworld, deeper and darker. I am, of course, the host with the most, Miss Violet Impulse, joined as always by the man who doesn't know how to shut up and still can't figure out a puzzle cube. It is, of course, the speaker, Jimmy Clifford. How are you doing, my sweet tortured soul?
I'm doing all right today. It's a lot cooler.
Yes, yes.
Either Anne's on the case or Crimson's finally got over that period.
Yes, well, the sunshine, you can't sunshine all the time.
No, just like it can't rain all the
Para-
time.
Paraphrasing slightly there, you can't have
Yeah,
the sunshine
just
all.
like it can't rain all the time.
Yes. But rolling on with this week's episode, we have some sweet musical screams of my sweet tortured souls from the comments section, starting with the man, the myth, the beard of beards, that legendary ginger beard that he has going on over there, the man from down under himself. It is the Ginger Ninja JK from our Toxic Avenger slash Crusaders episode. Niche market as fuck that one
Niche
is.
market. Going back 2 weeks.
Let me
Okay.
just say, I love the Toxic Avenger films, but I never really got into the cartoon. Give it a try. It's on, I think it's available
It's
on,
on Amazon.
if you can get it on Prime, give it a try. There are a lot of fourth wall breaks that are just kind of funny, and there is some adult humor in there that I'm surprised they got away with.
Yeah.
You know,
I feel like
windows and stuff.
rewatching it now might be a good thing because it is a little bit more adult than I remember it being.
Yeah, like there was some jokes that I didn't get as a child, and then rewatching it now, I'm like, I get that now, and I'm surprised the censors let that one through. Like,
Yeah, there are a couple.
goes on to say, I recently reviewed all of the Toxie films on my channel, and wow, what a trip down nostalgia lane. That's kind of what we did for that episode. We just watched the first four and bits of the cartoon, and
And I'm still yet to report back on the second one. I've got to finish that.
yeah. One thing I do love about Trauma as a whole is that they do get some future stars in there early. Marissa Tomei was in the original Toxic Avenger, and Michael J. White was in the sequel. They even got Eli Roth before he was famous in, I think it was Citizen Toxie as well. And one little note that I know as well about Trauma films is there is one of their films called Biker Chicks in Zombie Town. And this stars a literally like very just before he made his big break in Hollywood, Billy Bob Thornton. Mr. Billy Bob made his debut in a
In the
trailer
trailer.
movie. I mean, come on. The guy went on to marry Angelina Jolie for a while. I mean, come on.
Yeah, that was prior to Brad Pitt, clearly. But yeah,
But still, like, that is very true. There are a lot of trauma stars that when you look back and you go, wait a minute.
well, when you told me that Lemmy's going to turn up in one, oh, what?
Yeah, yeah,
Lemmy in a film,
yeah.
and it was rather enjoyable.
But yeah, Michael J. White was in the sequels. Mike, for those of you who might not know, Michael J. White is the guy who played Spawn and then went on to play, I believe the character is called Bronze Tiger in the CW Arrowverse TV shows. He was basically part of their version of the Suicide Squad.
Yeah,
Very good actor though, very underrated. I think it should be in more things and isn't. Although Universal Soldier: The Return, he was in that, and that film's not a good film. But anyway, that's where I was. Sorry. And yes, while the quality of the sequels dipped, seriously, I love them all on different levels. That is kind of where I'm at with the franchise. Like each one's got its own little charm.
yeah,
Like the first one is a bit more sort of serious in comparison
yeah,
to other films in the franchise. The first and fourth one are taking a little bit more
yeah. There's a little bit more. I found I
less
enjoyed both of them
cartoony.
more.
Those ones are less cartoony, whereas two
Yeah,
and three are. It's basically a live action version of the cartoon show
yeah.
at that point. So, but anyway, continuing on. If you asked me if I would recommend these films, hell yeah, I would. They are great. Are they great? No, but they are. But damn, are they fun? Fuck yes.
Yeah.
They're good, dumb, fun, switch your brain off popcorn entertainment. You sit there with a bowl of snacks and you just enjoy the film, which is pretty much what we.
It's something I realised you have to do once I got to one of them. I was part of it. I thought it's like, no, just switch your brain off, go with this.
And
Fun,
can I
fun.
say, as for the remake, I'm so down for this. The cast, the effects, the whole over the top, cartoonish, but grindhouse ish look of it sold me. Do you know what? That was kind of my feeling on it. Like when I heard the like, okay, apart from Peter Dinklage, it took me a while to come around to that. I was like, I get the joke.
Yeah.
I get the joke now. But when I saw the trailer for the first time, I was like, okay, this has made me want to watch this. This has given me that. Now I've seen the designs. Now I've seen what he looks like. Now I know not so much the story, but I know clip it.
You know the gist.
I want to see this.
This is something I want to watch as well. I
Yeah.
mean,
I think
you mentioned it to me and we were going to do the episode, but it actually popped up on my Facebook as the trailer. I'm like, look, I've got to watch that. Hell yeah. Because I remember the cartoon. I was like, how are they doing this? And it
yeah.
did seem like they might be drawing from both source
I
materials.
think little bits are like I said, the design of Toxie himself in the remake for me
Yeah.
looks like it's that blending of the
Yeah.
live action and the cartoon because he's green and he's got the orange bumpy bits.
Yeah.
If you bought that action figure from Playmates when you were a child, that figure was
Yeah.
green and had orange bumpy bits on
And
it.
the fact that he uses that mop in the one scene in the trailer,
Yeah,
it's like, that leans
very
into the mop
cartoonish.
being it's doing its thing.
Yeah.
That's a cartoon thing.
Yes. But up next, JK yet again on
Double
our
sponsor.
on our Clive Barker triple bill from last week. Hello from the land down under the real upside down. Wink, wink.
Yeah, they've released the. We'll talk about that later, maybe.
That's for another episode.
That's for another episode.
Candyman, fucking top tier film. Creepy, atmospheric, well acted with a phenomenal cast. Agree 100% on those comments there, JK. It is one of my all-time favorites. It's a go-to horror film when I'm in the mood for not necessarily gore, just a good story.
Yeah.
This one for me is one that I will always go back to because I enjoy the story so much.
Yeah.
So agree.
I enjoyed that story and it will be revisited at some point.
Lord of Illusion. Never hated it, but never really thought too much of it. Kind of the same here.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it when I first watched it. It did recently get a nice release on Blu-ray over here. Bear in mind, JK is in Australia. So maybe we've got a release over here. I'll have to sort of look around for that and see if there's like a direct, because I did say in the episode, if there's a director's cut version of it that explains it a bit more without all the jumpy cuts, I might be like with Nightbreed. Like I liked the original, but the director's cut for me just made it even fucking better.
Yeah.
So where was it? Yes, Nightbreed. Love this movie. I have a certain nostalgia for this film. I saw it at the drive-in on a double feature with The Abyss with my dad. Even have the Arrow version like you do. Jimmy, would you like to share with the class what you bought today? He bought the same Arrow Blu-ray.
I found this. Guys, this is available if you're in the UK.
It's like I've started a thing here.
Yeah, you have.
He's got a copy. He's got a copy. Tony's got a copy. Like it's just making
that one has popped, as you said. Yeah, that's popped two cherries. That's
so yeah.
That's popped two cherries for me because that's the first film I've got on Blu-ray, and it's the first horror film as well. So
and it says great vid and discussion. Have a good one. We did have a good week.
We did have a good week.
Up next, showing up in a rare appearance.
And at the last minute.
It is from the Retro Movie Zone. the Calico Crichton, the son of the Pertwee himself, the gap-toothed Tony Harris. He goes on to say on our Clive Barker triple bill. Sorry, I had to double check where that was then for a second.
Yeah, luckily, I'm helping with the tech support down there. So,
evening all, great episode as always, and good to have you back after all the technical difficulties of the previous week.
yeah.
How we suffer for our art, eh? Yeah,
Yeah.
that's kind of how it was. It was tech issues and moods. I was just like, nah, this has annoyed me too much. I'm just not in that headspace to sit and record and be all jovial.
It turned out to be a good little break for us, actually. So
taking a week off was needed at that point.
yeah, it was actually needed.
The heat, the tech issues, just everything was getting to us, and it was like, no, I can't record this week. I'm not there. I'm not mentally there to do it. So we took
metaphorical cards were stacked against us, and getting that refresh was a.
But here we go with his comment. Candyman wasn't quite a favorite for me. I know that's going to be a controversial opinion, but there it is. Haven't seen it for decades, and I've only seen it the once, but I remember not being overtly impressed. I do reckon, however, it's worth a repeat viewing, so I'll take another look and see if my opinion has changed. Stand by for that. Honestly, Tony, I think if you've not seen it in a long time, it's definitely one of those films that gets better with age.
Yeah.
Especially with the hindsight of, this is kind of the thing with a lot of horror franchises, that the first one might not do great, but then the sequels come out and it sort of retroactively becomes like, oh, the first one is actually good compared to the other ones. But when you compare it to other films, it's not so good. And I think Candyman is one of those films that you just need to judge it on its own. Don't compare it to anything else. Just take it with the story that it presents to you.
Yeah.
That's the best. That's my advice I can give you with the Candyman, Tony, is just switch your brain off and just enjoy the story that's being fed to you.
Yeah.
Sweets for the sweets, as he says. So anyway, carrying on. Lord of Illusion, I've never seen. I'm really not surprised. I've heard of it many times, but for some reason, it never appealed to me. Have to say, I'm curious about it now, though, thanks to you guys discussing it. This is another one headed for my legendary watch list. Stand by for this one, too. Okay, like I said in the review, it's not my favorite, but if you've never seen it, at least give it a watch.
Yeah.
Just so you can tick it off the list and be like, that's another Clive Barker one under the belt.
Yeah. I would say the same with that one. That was the one that's sadly least impressive to me. The three that we watched.
And as we said during that episode, for me, it was mainly the jumpy cuts and that bad CGI in the middle.
Yeah.
Excuse me, everyone. Touch of hay fever going on around here at the moment. Lost where I was. Nightbreed, I'm afraid I still haven't seen, even though I bought the director's cut on Blu-ray after an episode you made a while ago. Try over a year ago when I first bought the
I'm sorry, Tony. I've got this now.
You've had long enough, Tony.
Right, and I watched it last night.
Long enough
again. So you can make the time. And if he hasn't watched it, my recommendation there, because if you've got that version that we all own,
watch both.
Watch the director's first, then the theatrical. I found that because I watched the theatrical last night, and yeah, you are absolutely bang on with that. The theatrical is nowhere near as good as the director's.
Exactly. But goes on to say, unforgivable, I know. I promise to dig it out and give it my full attention so I can give you my thoughts. You better bloody do. Yeah. I'm hoping, Tony, on the next video that you put out, you talk about Nightbreed. If you don't, I'm going to be very, very unhappy, and I think I'm going to have to go and finally, after a very long time of not doing it, go and get some pineapples and carve your name into each and every one of them.
Be careful. You don't want to get them chains out. I'm stuck down here looking for that puzzle cube, Toad.
Pineapple, I will carve your name into it, Tony.
I've seen the storage box, and they've got most of them have got the name on.
Anyway, after everything you said, I'm sure I'm gonna enjoy it. Hope my comments have made it in time for your recording of the next episode, which, of course, I eagerly await. Yes,
Well,
yeah.
they have.
Thanks, guys, for helping me pass an hour very nicely with your usual mix of geeky chat and good fun. Love your weekly videos and always look forward to finding out what we're talking about on the next outing. Until next time, toodle pip to you both, and then 3 smiley faces. And then Tony slipped in another small little comment. Yeah, to finish off. The Evil Dead next week. Bloody brilliant. Can't wait. As for my unicorn's cock, yes, it's now had Nightbreed added to it. That sounds so wrong when I say it like that. It's like a game of hoopla with a unicorn. Added to it under the heading for your urgent attention. I hope you mean the Blu-ray and not the no.
Yeah, the urgent attention.
And again, smiley face.
If he's recorded next time and it's filled with sparkles, we know what happened.
If he's got a sparkly DVD, we know what happened to it. But yeah, thank you for the love and support as always, Tony. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir.
As Tony said there, we are going to roll the episode forward now with our feature presentation. We're talking about the original Evil Dead trilogy. Now, when I say that, I mean just the first 3 films: Evil Dead, Evil Dead 2, Dead by Dawn, and Evil Dead 3, Medieval Dead, Army of Darkness.
So we're not talking about these.
No, that is just.
Thank you for borrowing it.
The TV series. That is a continuation. We will get up to that later. But up first, ladies and gentlemen, time to open the Necronomicon that I have up on my shelf. Thank you very much. Very posh, very nice. Very demure. Very demoniure. Demoniure. Sounds like demon shit, doesn't it? This episode is not going well today. Anyway, right. First, in our look back at these films, we are talking about the very first film, the one that kickstarted it all, The Evil Dead. I have the full uncut version that contains that scene. If you've seen this film,
yes, we'll get to that scene.
Yes, we have to dance around that subject because of the algorithms, but we'll talk about that scene if we can. But of course, it is The Evil Dead, released October 15th, 1981. I have 2 release dates here, and I should have probably researched why, but I was too lazy.
Yeah.
Originally released October 15th, 1981, and I think that was its premiere. I do remember seeing on a special feature somewhere that was its initial premiere.
Yeah.
But it got a wider release April 15th, 1983 in the United States. Budget of $375,000 with a box office take, and I love this. Box office take, $29.4 million.
Yeah. And that's how you make money, folks.
You want to do low budget and high return? Take some lessons from The Evil Dead.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
Or George Romero, as we've previously covered.
But this film stars Bruce Campbell as Ash, Ellen Sidewis, Richard Demonicore.
I was struggling with that name, so that word.
I'm like it sounds like a 1980s sci-fi bad guy from like some sort of corporate genetics company or something.
Yeah.
But anyway, continuing on, Betsy Barker and Teresa Tilly. No relation to Jennifer Tilly, I don't think, anyway. But yes, this film is about a group of friends, which is Ash, his friend Scotty, Scotty's girlfriend Shelley, Ash's girlfriend Linda, and Ash's sister. I always forget her name. Cheryl. There we go. Sorry, Cheryl. Yes. They've rented a cabin in the woods. Here we go. This is where the tropes come from. Apparently, they've rented a cabin in the woods and they're going up there for like a summer break or a spring break or something. They're just going up there to get out of the way so they can get shit-faced and have a good time and have, smoke a bit of the ganja and have a bit of the premarital sex, which is kind of the tropes at the time. These kind of tropes were getting set up in things like Friday.
It's the usual typical retreat for this age.
But they find that in this cabin, there's a basement that's filled with all these weird, freaky things, a dagger made out of bone, and and a weird book that looks like it's made out of leather, but it's not, it's human skin. And there's a recording, and they play this recording, and it recites some creepy Latin sounding incantations. It awakens
Sumerian.
Sumerian or whatever. It awakens a dark force out in the forest, and through the night, it one by one possesses them, takes them down in progressively gruesome fashion, and it becomes a quest for survival until the morning. And it is a masterclass from my perspective in low budget filmmaking. It's very creative, very inventive. For its time and for its budget, I think the effects are, although not amazing, they still hold up quite well today.
Yes.
Like compared to some films that come out today that are made for more money than this film still looks better than something that would come out today
Yeah.
in the low budget genre, in the low budget area, like your grindhouse kind of cinema
Yeah.
type goers. If a film like this was done now, I'm sorry, but this still looks better than those. That's just my personal take. But Jimmy, throwing it over to you. This was a first time viewing in
Not the first time viewing.
25.
Yeah,
What?
2025. How I missed this film with the amount of friends I had that had referenced this film. I was very aware of the references.
Yes.
So viewing this for me was very nice. So now I'm in on the references. Great film considering it's 40 plus years old.
At this point, yes.
At this point, it is 40 plus years old, this film.
Yeah.
So yeah, some of the practical effects, and I found that out, and I was doing a little bit of extra digging. They used about 70,000 liters worth of fake blood in this.
Yes.
So that's a lot of fake blood. And
Yeah.
you're considering shoestring budget.
Yeah, that then most of the budget went on the blood, I think.
I think that's where the budget went to. But it
Yeah.
was a very good film. Practical effects are on point. Great acting from a bunch of guys that, by the look of them, early days.
Yeah. I think for a lot of them it was their first film.
Yeah, it's like their
Um,
first film. They've only been practice. It was great acting, and yeah, I'm just looking at my notes because my brain's fried. Just give me a moment on that. The only thing that detracts from this, and it isn't because of the original format of the film, it's because of updates and the version that's on.
oh, where you can see the
Yeah,
where the moon has been.
yeah. I mean, at the like you said, I think
That's the upscaling of the DVD fault. That's
that's
not
yeah.
the film's
This
fault.
is a film that would be perfectly fine if you view this in its original format. You wouldn't
Yeah,
like
yeah.
in the newer format with the upscaling. It's totally noticeable and it detracts just a little.
Just a little, just a
You
little.
know,
But
and
right, we'll go through it scene by scene. The opening for me, where they're just driving the car up to the woods and the mountains and blah 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 blah. It is very, that's what I'm looking for, wholesome. Because
yeah,
at first thought you just think this is going to be a normal bunch of kids. What I say, kids, bunch of late teens, early 20s go on a little vacation up
yeah.
in the mountains.
Just they're having a quick summer break.
Yeah, and then it quickly, and I mean lightning fucking quickly, goes downhill south.
Yeah,
And the first character that the evil force takes an interest in is Ash's sister Cheryl. And this leads, we're gonna get this out of the way early.
it leads to that scene.
That scene that we're talking about. Now, this scene, for a lot of people, is the thing they will mention the first time you bring. If you say to them, "Have you seen Evil Dead?" They go, "Oh yeah, that bit with the tree." Yeah, everyone knows that scene. That scene is the reason why it was banned over here and added to the video nasty list for a while. It did get taken off quite quickly because they realized, oh,
It's not
it's
that
not
bad.
as bad as some other stuff that was on the list. Like,
Yeah,
but anyway, and that, in a way, kind of helped increase its notoriety. Like this film that was banned, okay, we have to see this. Like that was the mentality of the public. Was like, you don't want us to see it, now we want to see it even more.
yeah.
And that definitely helped the film with its success. But it's also the good story that is
Yeah,
helping success. But anyway, this particular scene is a scene that Sam Raimi himself was like, I kind of regret doing it, but what's done is done. I made a choice. Would I make that choice again? No, but I was young. I was a young filmmaker.
yeah. And honestly, I think he, despite his reservations and viewing it now, that was a good scene.
It gives it its shock value though. It's
Yeah, no, it's
that
shock
moment
value, and it actually sort of adds to the film of this is the danger they have unleashed.
yeah, like this thing is when they say it's the evil dead, they want to definitely emphasize the evil.
Evil. Yeah,
Like nothing is off the cards. Like these
yeah. This
characters
thing will go and
are
play
very
havoc.
pardon?
It will play havoc.
Yeah, and
It's
for me,
proper evil.
that scene, as though it can be at times a little bit uncomfortable to watch because it lingers on certain shots just a little too long. Overall, like you said, if I mean, I have seen versions where that scene has been chopped right down,
Yeah.
right? And no pun intended there. Uh,
With
but I've seen
intangible.
versions of this film like on TV and stuff where that scene is basically like you see the plants grab her, and then next thing you know, she's running back to the cabin.
Yeah.
Like it's been almost completely erased from the film, and the film does lose some of its
Yeah.
in. It really, really does. So I think getting the full uncut version is the best version
Yeah.
to go with. So, but yes, moving swiftly on. After being attacked by a bunch of trees, Cheryl demands Ash take her home.
Yeah.
They drive out to the bridge that they crossed coming in. As they're going, but then he tries to go back out. The bridge has fucking just been destroyed, ripped up, gone.
It's gone. There is
And
no escape.
so they have to go back to the cabin. And then after a little bit of not exposition, but conversation stuff going on in the background, they're playing like psychic guess the card thing. Cheryl starts guessing all of the cards correctly and then starts levitating and is possessed
Yeah.
and reveals itself as to be called something called a deadite, and they're going to swallow people's souls and yeah,
And
all
the usual horror
yeah,
genre
yeah, and then it
tropes
just
again.
goes downhill from there,
Yeah.
and it's just gory kill after gory kill. Linda's girlfriend gets taken down by Cheryl with a pencil to the ankle,
Yeah.
which was
And it just gets worse.
another scene,
Another scene.
another scene that got it flagged for the video nasty list was that
Yeah.
pencil to the ankle thing. It's the noise, it's the sound effects that get me on that bit. It's the
Yeah. The practical effect got me for that one.
yeah,
I'm still trying to work out how they managed that effect.
half pencil and a latex appliance. It was probably quite easy, but
Yeah.
the effect is fucking good.
It is a good one. It's a good one.
But yeah, the film progresses. Each character slowly gets taken out, and then Ash is the lone survivor. Now, spoiler alert here. If you want to jump forward about 2, 3 minutes, spoiler alert here. We're going to spoil the ending. Ash destroys the Book of the Dead. He burns it, which in turn destroys the Deadites, and the sun comes up. Ash steps outside thinking he's the lone survivor, which was an it's now a cliche, but at the time that really wasn't an established thing. The lone survivor who walks off to live to tell the tale kind of thing.
Yeah.
That wasn't really a thing then.
No.
So you think he's going to live, and then something comes rushing through the cabin, picks him up, and zoom, we're into the credits. And
Yeah.
it was meant to be a one and done. It was meant to be implied that no,
We were speaking about this off camera, weren't we? A little
yeah,
bit?
just when you think that Ash is going to be the lone survivor, no, he got killed by the Force, the Evil Dead, and that was it. It was supposed to be a one and done.
Yeah. And that's the other thing. If this were a one and done, it'd be great. But it weren't a one and done. It ended up becoming we're obviously going to talk about 2, 3, and I've already
Well,
said
yeah,
one.
because of how successful the first one was, they were able
It
to
got sequels and
get a second one off the table, which rolls us nice. Well, actually, no, won't do that yet. You will go favorite scene on this one because you were a first time viewer of The Evil
Yeah.
Dead. Favorite scene for you out of the entire movie that made you go, I love this film.
The
If you say the tree scene, I'm gonna start questioning you.
Well, that one does stick in the mind.
Yeah,
And now that I've had time to process it, it is a very honestly, I don't I it's that thing in it. Your parents or the teacher tells you, don't do this. You don't do this. What's the first thing you go and do?
you do it.
You go and do it. Yeah. You're not supposed to do that. Okay, I'll go and do that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
But I
Favorite.
think it's the where he gets his chainsaw.
That's number
When
two.
he, was
That's,
that two?
that's the
I'm
second.
blending the two together. Chainsaws in two.
You
No,
got the axe and the single shot shotgun in the first
yeah,
one.
you got because it is a single shotgun. When he starts managing to fight against them, and he actually starts doing some successful little bits.
Yeah, when he chops Shelly up
Yeah,
and deals with Linda outside with the shovel.
yeah. I think that certain sort of sequence of scenes
You
is
know what, right? Now that you've touched upon it, I will say that Ash is not your typical movie hero.
no,
He's
he's
definitely
not.
more of a reluctant hero, like
Yeah, yeah.
more so in the first one than
I
the
think it's
later
that.
sequels. But
I think what,
in the first one, it was definitely a case of these were his friends. He didn't want to
yeah,
hurt,
yeah. He didn't want to murder them.
but they've pushed him to that point where it's almost like his survival instinct has kicked in,
Yeah,
and
and
he's
it's almost like he's mercy killing them and such.
to a certain extent, yeah,
Yeah,
to a certain
it's
extent.
like I don't know what to do with this, and you're going to kill me if I don't do something.
Yeah, like it becomes a matter of survival. It's not
Yeah.
just killing the demons to kill them. It's I need to survive, and if it comes down to it, if it's
Like
me,
like there isn't
right?
one particular scene to this film. It's just the concept of like
The film
it's
itself.
either do or do not. The
Okay,
idea of the do or do not.
let's go with our scores out of five. I'll let you go first on
There
this.
you go first. I'm gonna go. This one's gonna be slightly lower because on off camera we've already discussed about something. So this one, I'm gonna give it a flat four single shotgun barrel.
Out of five.
Out
Okay.
of five.
I'm gonna go with because this for me is a horror classic. It's one of the reasons I got into horror movies. And like I said,
Yeah,
if you are an aspiring filmmaker, hint hint, watching a film like this and then watching the special features, knowing how it was filmed and knowing how they got the effects that they got with the budget that they got, it's like, these are techniques I
yeah.
might be able to incorporate. So for me, I am going to give this 4.5 Nocturum de Montos out of five.
There you go.
That moves us on to the direct follow-up with a bit of a retcon at the beginning,
Yeah.
kind of.
Which is a bit of a trope for this set of films.
Yeah, you'll find out as the series goes on, that is actually kind of what they do.
Yeah.
But up,
Previously mentioned on this
up next,
episode.
we have Evil Dead 2, Dead by Dawn, released March 13th, 1987. Budget of 3.5 million, box office of 5.9 million. So not great, but obviously great enough to get a sequel.
Yeah.
Starring Bruce Campbell, Sarah Barry, Dan Hicks, Cassie Wesley, and Richard Domier. This for me, Evil Dead 2, Dead by Dawn, there's the version I have. DVD set up on the back is all weird. There's a few screenshots and whatnot there. For me, this film is the perfect follow-up and actually the one that I saw first. Yeah. This starts with kind of a recap of the first film,
Yeah.
but with major changes, as in it's only Bruce Campbell, Ash, and Linda that went up to the cabin. There was no one else, no sister, no best friend, no girlfriend, just the two of them. And then it sort of replays the events of the first film for about the first 20 minutes up
Yeah.
until Ash is picked up and thrown through the forest at the end of the first one, and then picks up from there. but there's no burning of the book. There's no multiple deadites. The like it's almost like the first one did but didn't exist. It's
Yeah.
kind of weird. There's a bit of a continuity. Like, wait, what? Wait,
Yeah.
what?
But I thought this happened. Kind of.
But it rolls on after he's been thrown through the woods. Ash gets possessed, lands in some water. The sun rises. He tries to get away, realizes he can't get away, and runs back to the cabin. Elsewhere, the the daughter of the original owners of the cabin, Professor Raymond Noby and his wife Henrietta, were at the cabin studying the Book of
The
the
man
Dead.
who made the recording.
Yes, the man who made the recording that he found that he plays again at the beginning of this film.
Yes.
He and his wife were staying there. There's no sign of them. He's not there. Professor Noby's not there. There's no sign of his wife. His daughter is showing up with a colleague because they found some lost pages from the Book of the Dead, and they're going to go up to the cabin to meet her parents and all this, that, and the other. And it just brings more characters and kind of further.
Replacement victims.
Yes. While that is happening, though, poor old Ash, Bruce Campbell, is in the cabin alone, being psychologically tortured by the Deadites and his dead girlfriend, Linda.
Yes.
But it does lead us to one of the best parts of this franchise of Bruce Campbell, Ash, his hand gets possessed by a Deadite, and he ends up cutting it off with a chainsaw.
Yeah. I blended the two, sorry.
Yes, and then later on in the film, uses that chainsaw on the stump of his arm as a fucking melee weapon. But the story of the film is pretty much that. Once the rest get to the cabin, it's very much like the first one. It's
Yeah.
pick off the victims one by one kind of thing until there's no one left.
Yeah.
And it ends on another cliffhanger, like
Of
the
course.
first one did. But this time, Ash is in the past, and he thinks he's stuck there. They're hailing him as a savior from the sky, which they foreshadowed earlier in the film. And yeah, it's a rollicking good fucking time. I'm going to throw it over to you, Jimmy, so you can give us your thoughts on your first viewing of Evil
I
Dead.
would definitely recommend it. I'm definitely going to rewatch it. This week's been fun because this is where they start to lean in
To the comedy a little bit more.
to the comedy a little bit, and there is that comedy element to. There's definitely more of a comedy element to the second film than there is the first film.
Just the bit where he's fighting his own severed hand and
Yeah,
it gets caught.
yeah, I know.
He pisses himself laughing and his hand just goes.
Yeah,
The little noises,
little figures himself.
the little noise that the hand's making.
Yeah.
That fucking cracked me.
Like that. That's the other thing that gets me. Like this hand's making a noise, unlike Thing from the Addams Family.
That's silent. It does.
It's silent. This thing's got like a voice to it, and why would it? My brain's still trying to work. Why would that have a voice? How would it even produce noise?
Yeah.
But honestly, with them leaning into the comedy a bit, I'm gonna pass that. It's still funny, like the that it does. And this is one of these. I feel somewhat like Terminator 2 did for the Terminator series.
Yeah.
This is as daft as it is. I actually like this slightly better than I liked the
To be
first.
honest with you, a lot of fans, myself included, are in that wheelhouse of the first one's good. To me, the second one
just ever so slightly creeps better.
It perfected what the first one was trying to do. I think the slight increase of budget for this one meant the effects were a bit better. The overall like makeup and everything was just a little bit better done than it was in the first one. Not to knock the first one, because again, for a low budget filmmaker, that is a masterclass in how to do it.
Yeah.
This one for me is just it takes what the first one was all about and just makes it even better. Adds a bit of humor to it. Adds slapstick to it.
Yeah.
The bit where he falls on the chair and the deer and the table and everything in the room starts.
Literally everything's being used.
And you can see it's almost like a descent into madness because at first he's laughing along with them.
Yeah.
And then he starts laughing derangedly and then he starts like wailing in horror. And I like brilliant
That
Fight for his
really
family.
got me as well. It's like he's doing, I feel what I would end up doing if I was in a similar position. It's like, this is crazy. So he's laughing along with it. And then, oh, it's slowly over time. It's like, I don't want to be here. Why is this happening? Like, how do I stop this from happening?
It definitely is a. You might as well laugh because if not, you're gonna cry.
Yeah, exactly. It is that sort of a moment, especially with the
Sentiment
deer. I
for
freaking love that deer. You
it.
know,
The lamp gets me every time when he
like,
starts doing.
yeah, it's like he starts
Like
playing
that, but
back
it's like,
with it, and it confuses what's happening. Like we were meant, yeah, the torch is working, but I didn't think it was meant to work this good, kind of thing.
but right, come on then. Favorite scene if you have one.
No, I think I previously mentioned I do like where he is forced into that situation, and he does calculate quite
Hero
well.
yet again, strapping up with the chainsaw and
Wrap it up with the chainsaw. So
over.
there's that.
See,
Definitely,
for me,
definitely.
one of my favorite visual gags in it because I didn't spot it the first time I watched it, and then when I spotted it, I could not help but giggle at it every fucking time. It's after he's cut his hand off and it's there twitching away on the floor. He puts a bucket on top of it,
Yeah,
and then a stack of books on top of it, and the first book on the stack
yeah,
is a farewell to arms, and I'm just like.
yeah.
I
Farewell to all. Yeah,
I love a good visual joke like that, and that tickled me. I was like, farewell to
like he's just literally trying to secure, you know, and that happens to be.
yeah, yeah. But any scene with the severed hand always puts a giggle on my face because it's like Thing if Thing was an actual asshole. Like
Yeah,
it
I
just
do like the middle finger the thing gives as well.
proper flipping him off and
You're
screaming.
flipping him. He's like I say, literally flipping himself off technically.
But for me, all-time favorite scene is you like you said, tooling up in the tool shed, doing getting the chainsaw in his arm and everything. And it's the bit where he cuts the basically makes the sawn off shotgun, makes his old boomstick, spins it round, puts it in the thing and holster his back, and he just looks at the camera and goes, groovy.
Groovy.
That for me, it got cemented by the likes of Duke Nukem and certain other video games that use that as a
Yeah, I mean that's been that
groovy.
was a thing. I think, like I said, I hadn't watched the film. I think for a little while, high school,
Yeah,
that was a thing for me. But I'd gotten that from Duke Nukem.
exactly. So
It's a reference on a
far
reference.
reaching, far reaching references.
Yeah,
Far reaching references. Okay, then, Jimmy. Score out of five.
like I said, I 4.5 chainsaws. 4.5 chainsaws.
I'm going to match your 4.5 chainsaws with
4.5.
4.5 Kandarian daggers
Yeah.
out of five. That rolls us on to the next film in the trilogy, depending on where you come from in the world, because it's got multiple titles. On my
Yeah.
DVD specifically, it's labeled as Evil Dead 3 Army of Darkness. In certain parts of the world, it's known as the Medieval Dead Army of Darkness. And then in other parts of the world, it's got all the titles Medieval Dead, Army of Darkness, The Evil Dead 3. So,
Yeah.
depending on where you are, there are
One film, many names.
we will mention it right away because there are two cuts of this film. I have both versions on this DVD. There is the US theatrical version and then the director's cut version, which in certain parts of the world, the director's cut version is known as the European version. Because when I first saw this on TV, I saw the director's cut because it had the alternate ending.
Right.
It wasn't until I watched it years later on VHS and it had the ending.
Confessions with Jimmy. Which one did I watch?
You watched the theatrical cut, which is as I was just about to say. When I first got this film on VHS way back in the day, when you could still get VHSs, I didn't know this. It was just labeled as Army of Darkness. I bought the VHS, watched it, and then it got to the end, and I was like, wait a minute, he didn't get back to it. The version I watched, he ended up in the future. He didn't end up back in his own. Oh, there's
Bang.
And that was then the realization of there's multiple cuts of the
Copies.
film. So this DVD has both cuts, it has both endings. For me, overall, it's it's hit and miss which version to watch because there are good points and bad points about both. The US theatrical version is somewhat like about nearly 20 minutes shorter than the
Yeah.
director's cut. But there are certain lines and scenes in the director's cut that I prefer from the like we talked about this when we watched this when he's fighting Evil Ash. What initially comes across Evil Ash and says, "Well, I'm you're goody two shoes, and I'm bad Ash."
Yeah.
And he pops the gun in his face, blows him away.
Yeah.
And in the US theatrical version, he goes, "Good, bad. I'm the guy with the gun."
Yeah.
But in the director's cut version, when he's doing the whole goody two shoes thing, he just pops the shotgun in his face, blows him away, and then says, "I ain't that good." I actually prefer the line from that version. So
Yeah.
maybe there's a version out there where someone's done like the ultimate cut of it, where it's the best lines from one, the best scenes from the other, and then just put them all
For that scene where you mentioned it, I do like good,
bad.
bad.
And
I'm a guy with a gun.
yeah, that is much more Ash for
Yeah.
me.
It
But
does seem much more Ash, and it does it plays into the character more for that version.
but we'll get on with the story. The story for this one is after the end of the second film, where Ash fell through a vortex in time and space. He ended up in the year 1300, possibly somewhere in Europe. He's not entirely sure. He just knows he's. I think as the there was a poster. Yeah, there was a poster that had this tagline on it, but it was there was more to it. It says trapped in time, surrounded by evil. On the VHS I had, the blurb at the side of it was trapped in time, surrounded by evil, low on gas, as in
Yeah.
for the
The
chainsaw.
car that followed him through.
Yeah, and the chainsaw.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, so he's stuck in the 1300s. Now, at the end of the second one, he's hailed as the he who fell from the skies to deliver us from the evil of the Deadites. They
Yeah.
completely retcon that straight away at the beginning of the third one, much like they retconned the end of the first one at
Yeah.
the beginning of the second one. So it's
And again, you kind of get a
becoming,
repeat of the previous event.
yeah, it's almost like Ash is telling this story to somebody else, and he's just left out the bits that make him look like a complete cunt, like he killed all of his friends and his sister. No, he just killed his girlfriend. It's like
He
he's
glosses over the bits that make him look bad.
yeah, which when you get to Ash versus Evil Dead, there are shades of that where it's like, well, what happened? And he's like, well, this happened and that happened, and then it turns out that oh, well, I might have not told you about that part. And it's like, well, that was the part you should have told them, Ash.
Yeah.
There's more of that
Which,
later on.
to me, now that we've got to that, that's why I feel like the second one's forgivable. He is literally, it's like why he left. This, he's condensed the story it's almost like he's telling it at the pub.
Yeah, a little bit, a little bit.
No, it's like he's down the pub with
So,
a couple of friends. This is what happened.
so back on track. Yeah. So he's in the 1300s. He's captured for being possibly one of the enemy's men. He's taken to a small castle by Lord Arthur. And oh, I didn't do any of the dates and stuff for this one. Shit, I do. So I
You
do.
didn't. No, I don't think. I don't. Did you do the date to the second
It's
one?
the heat. The heat's getting to me. It's warming up again now that it's rained. But yeah, Army of Darkness released on October 9th, 1992, a budget of 11 million, box office of 21.5 million. So it just about made its budget back. And then some. Starring Bruce Campbell, Bette Davis, Marcus Gilbert, and Ian Abercrombie. Oh, and Bridget Fonda as Linda right at the end of the film.
Yeah, that is another thing. Linda changes every single one.
Yeah, Linda's been played by a different actress each time, which again in Ash versus Evil Dead, they make sort of a little joke about it. It's like, oh, that's my first Linda. Turns out that Ash has dated multiple Lindas. It's kind of like his thing. Like he likes girls called Linda. And that kind of plays off the idea that each film is meant to be its own thing. And he just kept taking girls called Linda to this fucking cabin and they kept getting fucking killed. Like, like, dude, if you've done it once and it happens, don't go back.
Yeah, learn from the first time.
But there are a couple of hidden cameos and a few connections with this one. I told Jimmy about this. I was like, yeah, there's some connections here. There are hidden cameos by Bill Moseley and Patricia Tallman,
Yes.
both playing Deadites, who played Barbara and her brother Johnny in the Night of the Living Dead remake that came out 2 years before this film.
Previously on.
So, kind of like 6 degrees of separation there. Patricia Tallman was hired because she is initially a stunt.
And honestly, from my first, they're totally unnoticeable.
Yeah, you cannot tell the
You
makeup.
can't tell who they are. You
Yeah.
have to have them pointed out.
Yes, and that's what I did.
And you did. Very well done.
But, yes, so Ash is taken to the castle of Lord Arthur. He's thrown into the pit to fight a Deadite. He gets his chainsaw back from from like this old wise man.
Yeah.
Calls him Strange One. He gets his chainsaw, kills the Deadites, and then they hail him as a hero who's come to stop the Deadites. So they sort of expand upon the ending of the second one, not so much retconning it. They eventually do come to see him as the Chosen One.
Yes.
But they kind of expanded it a little bit rather than he just lands, kills a Deadite because it's coming at him, and they're like, "Oh, he's the hero." And like,
yeah, they kind of retcon that bit.
Yeah.
He's taken away as a prisoner, and it's
what ensues is he is told that he needs to get the Necronomicon because he wants to get back to his own time. He's told to recite 3 words upon collecting the book. He does not. He fucks it up because he forgets.
He kind of does. I'm with Ash on this one. He kind of does.
But he ends up awakening the army of darkness, an army of undead deadite skeletons, and God knows what else from a graveyard, who are led by his evil counterpart, who grew out of an eyeball that popped up on his shoulder because he swallowed a miniature version of himself. Without the context of the film, that is going to sound so weird.
Yeah. Started as a growth on his shoulder.
Yeah, like he broke a mirror, small little reflected pieces on the floor, all sprung to life because the land he's on is evil. And
it's bizarre, but
he fights mini versions of himself, and they end up tying him down, and he ends up swallowing a miniature version of himself that grows into a full-size version of himself out of a growth on his shoulder. Weird film explaining it like this, but trust me, go and watch this fucking film if you've never fucking seen it.
Yeah.
Honestly. But yeah, the army is led by Evil Ash, and he too wants the Necronomicon. It's not specifically said why he wants it. Maybe just because Ash wants it. I don't know. But the fight between them is a bloody good fight. And as I pointed out to Jimmy, Bruce Campbell did most of his own stunts and fight scenes in this film. The sword fights and all that kind of stuff, that was actually him doing it all. There was no stunt. Well, there was a few stunt doubles for a couple of scenes, like the big jumps and the falls and stuff. But a lot of it was him. So props to him on that one. But Ash ends up getting back to his own time if you go with one ending. If you go with the alternate ending, I'll talk about the alternate ending now because the canon ending is the theatrical cut ending.
Yeah.
So, but in an alternate ending, he's been told to take 6 drops of a potion that was in the Necronomicon. Each drop will allow him to sleep for a century. 6 drops will put him back in his own time. In true bumbling hero fashion with Ash, he miscounts because he gets distracted by some falling debris, and he counts 5 twice. He takes 7 drops, and he wakes up, gets out of the cave that he was in, and he finds that he's back in his own time. He sees like, plastics and manufactured products and TVs and everything, and then he looks out, and he's in a destroyed dystopian future London where humanity has been decimated by the Deadites.
Oh dear.
That ending, unfortunately, is not canon. I think there might be a comic book, I'm not 100% on this, that followed on from that ending, but I'm not 100% on that. For me, I actually prefer that ending because it just reinforces Ash being the bumbling hero.
Yeah.
That he shouldn't have made it through, but somehow he bloody does.
It's that classic. It is classic Ash. Is that I'm doing the best with what I've got, and he's never calculated. That does sound like an interesting ending. You know, having him come out there. I'm probably going to rewatch the film for that with that particular version.
Should. There are, like I said, there are a few more extended scenes, like the scene in the windmill where he encounters the mini ashes. In the director's cut, that is about 5 minutes longer because it plays more like a homage to
Yeah.
the first and second films, where it like the windmill itself slows down and stops, like the clocks in the background in the first two did. It plays around more with the creepy angles and the atmosphere and stuff like that. And like I said, that each version has its own merits. You know, there's good points and bad points for each version. So it doesn't really matter which version you watch, but the US theatrical version and its ending, where Ash gets back to his own time, that is the canon ending. So, flipping it over to you, Jimmy. First viewing into well, you discovered this when first putting it on. You'd seen bits of it while at drunken parties.
Yes, this was
A first time sober viewing.
yeah, yeah. Let's put it that way. First time where I was sober and could recollect the viewing of it. Good film. Not as good as the second. Now I've watched the second, but still very enjoyable.
They definitely
Definitely leans more, even goes even
more
further,
into the
leans
comedy.
more into that comedy.
Yes,
You
definitely.
know, at this point, you've done 3 films. You know what you're doing. You know what you're about. We're going with that. So, but like I say, like you say, previous viewing was at a drunken party. I hadn't seen I hadn't seen the first sort of little bit of the film. I think I watched it toward the end. I don't know what but I don't know what variation I'd watched and how that ended because it was on in the background and I was drunk and slowly getting drunker. And now that I watch it sober, yeah, very enjoyable film. Leans heavy. I'm trying to remember my notes.
The bit where he comes out when he goes to get the books and there's three of them and he gets
Yeah,
sucked
yeah, no, that was
that
brilliant. I
vortex
love the way
with
they
his
did
face.
that.
With his face.
Yeah, I did like the way they did that. Like, hang on, there's 3 books.
No, but
Basically, got to roll it into the back. There are 3 films, and yeah, we're aware of the continuity. So, which one of these do you want?
My favorite one out of that is the flying one, where he's there like like that, fighting, like pushing it away from him. So it's like the most cheesiest acting thing he's doing. It's literally just him doing that, like moving the book backwards and forwards. But it's the noises, the fact that it's flapping, he's there going, get away, It's like he's fighting a pigeon.
The effects for this film are on point, and it is just
Yes,
good, dumb
yes,
fun. It's
yes.
just good, dumb fun all the way through. It is like,
Biggest budget out of the three. Biggest budget out of
yeah, it's like, but still, even at that, don't overthink this. Just roll with it.
no.
Right. Favorite scene's got to be where he's with the town and he's got his bits back and he literally did, this
Here's my
is my boomstick. And then literally recites off the price and everything to do. He clearly knows his shit about this gun, and he literally goes through.
Oh, they sell it at S-Mart, Shop Smart, Shop S-Mart.
Top S-Smart. Yeah, yeah, literally rolls into his job, but uses it almost like a threat. Like they're gonna have no idea about mini marts or nothing, but still uses that, and that is classic Ash.
What about it is that everything he's saying, they're just like, what?
Well, yeah, but
What
they're
does
like
any of
literally.
that mean?
I think the extras deserve a few props for that one because even they're looking terrified. He's just listing off the price, the manufacturing, what it's capable of, how to, he's literally listing these, and they're still like, I haven't got a clue what he's going on about, but I'm fucking terrified because that thing fires.
That thing made a loud noise. It made a loud boom.
It made a loud noise and it went boom,
And it
and
killed
things
things.
happened.
Ah!
Yeah.
It broke his sword. Ah!
The only thing I think that was better is a scene where he's gone to the car and pulled that like apart a little bit, finding bits in, and he comes out with the
Chemistry book.
chemistry 101.
makes
So
gunpowder.
and that's literally so he
Wise
can
man.
figure out how to make gunpowder because he knows he needs reloads.
The bit gets me with that where he's making the little bombs for the arrows, and the wise man's like gives it a sniff, and then puts it near the candle ash. Is like,
No. No, this like I say, I like this film. It's not as good as the second
no,
the three.
no, but it's still a good film.
It's still a very good film, and I think you can tell I'm quite happily a fan of this little series. And the fact that it's got expanded, I will go and look at that, even if it's a once viewing. It's a good film all round. Obviously, yeah, it's got a bigger budget than that. It was well known at the time, given the bigger budget. So yeah, even though despite its age now, it holds up. It's just a good film to watch. It's enjoyable. So yeah, that's my thoughts on that.
Come on, then. Let's have your score out of 5.
Mm. Now the thing is here, I'm debating whether it's as good as the first. I'm going to match it. I'm going to go with the 4 again. Four.
Equal across the board for you, then. 4.5. Yeah.
4.5 for the second, 4 for both the first and the third.
Okay.
And I'm going to go with 4 steam-powered cars.
Fair enough. And I'm going to go with, like I said, not my favorite in the franchise. I'm going to go with 3.5. Pick your miserable bags of bones up and Sally out of 5. And if you know that reference, you know the bit of the film I'm fucking talking about. Sally 4.
Yeah.
And that is it.
That is it.
Evil Dead Trilogy. Now, there is sort of continuations for this. There are video games loosely connected. I'm getting to that. There are video games that are loosely connected to the canon, but I think since Ash vs. Evil Dead come out, it kind of cancelled those off.
Yeah.
There are comic books. There are crossovers. There is actually Marvel Zombies versus Army of Darkness. So there's even a crossover with the old Marvel Zombies there.
There you go.
But if you want more Ash entertainment, more Ash fun, as Jimmy has shown you there, season 1, 2, there is a third season, but unfortunately, I don't have the third.
1 and 2, but there is a third.
He's borrowed those off me, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you very much.
Sorry about that, everyone. My PC decided, no, I'm not going to work right now, and crashed. So we had to set everything up.
No.
We had to set up everything from the start, but we were about to wrap up anyway.
Yeah.
As I was saying, if you want more from the Evil Dead franchise, go and check out the remake that came out in, I think it was 2008.
Yeah.
And also check out Ash vs. Evil Dead. There are comic books and there are video games. Go and check that out. So, let's do this while we can. It's time to say goodnight, Jim.
Good night, Jimmy.
And remember, good night, my sweet tortured souls. And remember, you can't be good, be twisted. Don't get mad, baby. Get sadistic. Mwah. Love you all. See you on the next episode. Bye.
Bye-bye.